Well, hello everyone. This is Crystal Lynn, Cowgirl Astrologer, coming to you from Southern California. And I am sitting here in my tack room right now, just looking at some charts. I was outside and it got real windy, so I wanted to, just be able to talk about what is going on. And at the same time, with Uranus moving into Taurus, which is a very epic event. It takes 7 years for Uranus to change signs, and it takes 84 years for Uranus to have a full return. And so it is literally at like 0 degrees, just moved over into Taurus. It's a very, very powerful time, as you probably know and are feeling within you. But it also is about surrounding yourself with things that you value. So coming out here in my tack room and being around the smell of horses and my leather and going back to those things that I really value. Yeah, it's really been an amazing time to start to connect with those earthly things that we value. Also, I have another little surprise for you. I have my notes here today because I'm outside, just to remind myself of some things that have been on my mind. But I have a little surprise. I wanted to introduce you to my new member of the family. And this is Lena. Lena, come here. Where are you? There you are. Where are you? Lena is my little wolf cross, and she is connected bloodlines to my other large dog, Buddy. I think I've had some of my videos, and he is a wolf cross. And oh yeah, and she's just a baby. She's just a baby, so she's just learning. She's learning how. She's a chewy girl. Are we gonna chew? I just want to bite you. Come here. That's not what we're doing. Come here. Come here. Come here. Let's say hi. Say hi. Look. Say hi. This is the this is the problem with a new puppy, is that she's very happy and she's having a lot of fun, and she loves to chew right now because her teeth are coming in. So excuse me for a minute. That didn't go as gracefully as I thought it would. Hey, hey, go lay down. Go lay down. She is in training right now, so when I start young dogs or young horses, I go, oh, there's Buddy. Buddy, let's see Daddy. Buddy, let's see if he'll come in here. I call him Mufasa, and she's like, the little lions, the little lion cubs. Buddy, oh, he may come to visit us in a bit. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to your daddy. So she is a new adventure for me, and especially because I love to do pet astrology, animal astrology. I've been working with animal behavior for over 35 years in my life. I know I don't even seem that old, but I have had animals all of my life. But in training and working with them in a lot of different ways. I started very young professionally. So when I became an astrologer and I started studying astrology, actually the first thing that I began to look at was my animals, to really see if this worked with animals. And like I said, I wasn't quite an astrologer yet. I was still studying and just checking it out in my beginning years. And when I started doing the charts of the animals that I knew their birthdays, I was blown away. I was blown away at how much information that you can get. I need to correct her a minute. Hold on. Hey, hey, hey. No more. I know you like my little French. You lay down? You gonna lay down? Sit down. I haven't had a lot of animals I've been able to raise and start from the beginning knowing their birthdays. Many of them I found out later as they're already older, so I could go back and look and see how astrology applied to animals. By the way, I do offer chart readings for pets. So if you are a pet lover and would love to find out more about how your animal sees the world and you have their birthday, that's something we can do. So Lena is really an amazing opportunity for me to observe as I go and to really see how these play out. So right now, what do we have? She was born May 7th, or March 7th. She is a Pisces. She was born the day before the Women's Day celebration. So she comes at a powerful time in history, really. And for me, it was as a woman even making that decision to, have another pet and invest my time in another animal. She is a Libra rising. I know what time she was born. And she has a moon in Sagittarius. Okay, Mars was in Capricorn, as we remember. Or was it in Sagittarius? It might have been in Sag. And Mercury and Venus had just moved into Aries. Okay, like 1 degree. So she's on the cusp. So anytime you look at service dogs or very sensitive dogs, and you see that strong Pisces signature, she was born with the Sun and Neptune conjunct. She was also born, Chiron was at the 29th degree of Pisces, okay? So at the end of a very healing time for me. Now, we do see the Aries here right away, don't we? The persistence. The persistence of play. Come here. Come here. I know. She gets really excited when I talk. Let's see if we can calm down. But she's just perfect. She's growing so fast. She's only 8 weeks. Look how huge she's going to be. Look at these paws. Okay. So let's just see. She's very, very connected to my energy. So all this chewing and kind of high anxiety or high energy behavior is because I am feeling that way. All right, I can feel it within me. So she's hearing me talk, and she's hearing and feeling this energy going through me. Being a Pisces, okay, they are the #1 service dogs. These are dogs. Oh, there she goes. She's going to go find Daddy. These are the kind of dogs that can sense things before they happen. In the service dog industry, when you have a dog Pisces in their chart or a strong signature, you see the dogs that are able to predict a seizure before it happens. Often up to like 45 minutes, they'll start to alert that, you need to sit down. You're going to have a seizure. So they're very special dogs. Now, I don't know quite if she has that gift yet. She's not bred as a service dog, but astrologically, because I study service dog charts, I know that she's got the chart of a service dog. And so my goal is to just see if I can work with her and bring that out in her, having her connect to me. Right now she's young, so I'm not asking a lot of her, but she's already connecting with me in ways that I've never seen a dog connect. So sharing this little bit of the story is sharing that there's so much going on astrologically for all of us, that there's a lot of changes. And I've noticed, just observing Facebook, when I do look at Facebook, I like to look at the trends, how many people on Facebook right now I see that are getting puppies, that are bringing an animal into their life. It's a strong, dominant trend right now. And even a lot of people saying, I had no idea this wasn't what I was looking for. All right, I didn't even want one more. And this pet came into my life. Well, that's kind of what happened with me. And I just felt this strong connection and need to bring a pet into my life. Now, I have a lot of animals, so it didn't make sense logically. But I do believe with Uranus moving into Taurus the next 7 years, the universe is really trying to help us ground ourselves, to ground ourselves back to Earth. Okay, and we've been all over the place, really the last 7 years with Uranus and Aries. Aries rules the head. So it's more of an instinctual energy that we've all been experiencing, more reactory, more competitive, more up in our heads, up in our minds. It's fiery. And now it's like we're coming out of the storm, maybe the desert storm, the fire, and we're coming down to this beautiful green grass and, these fields, and it's like taking off your shoes and feeling the grass underneath your feet and really, coming back down to some reality. Like, what are we doing here? What are we going to offer this earth? How can we contribute to the earth? And I think pets a lot of times help us ground ourselves physically in that earthly way. And for some reason, okay, we're seeing this huge trend happening. So I'm still looking up and observing myself, all the reasons this may be coming in. The North Node is in Leo. Okay, the North Node, we're about over halfway through. The North Node will move into Cancer, I believe, in November. Okay, so we're down, North Node in Leo is about 8 degrees right now. And that rules the 5th house of children, romance, the things we love. Okay, 6th house, which is ruled by Virgo, is typically more where we see small animals. But I believe this North Node in Leo, this degree that we're at, seems to be kind of triggering this need for us to enjoy ourselves and have some fun again. It's been a long time since we've had some fun. I think a lot of us have been in very serious times in our life, dealing with finances, dealing with stress. Uranus in Aries was very erratic, very impulsive. Couldn't really get a feel of where our life was going. Kind of feeling like you need to fight for your life. And if you've gotten this far, if you've made it this last 7-year pattern, and we're moving into Uranus Taurus, I want to say we could start to take a little breath. It's at least a change of energy, a change of thinking. When you're a kid, they tell you that every 7 years your taste buds change. Or when you get married, if you can make it through the 7-year itch, you're doing pretty good. Or you have the 7-year itch after 7 years of marriage. And those 7-year cycles are connected to Uranus. And, Uranus or Uranus, how you like to pronounce that, is all about the vibrations that we're in, the vibration, electric energy, trends, where we're going, where we get very fixed at, the cycle we need to really focus on. And so here we are now. We've made it through the last 7 years of a lot of radical change in all of our lives. And maybe you felt like you've been beat up. Maybe you felt really discouraged. Maybe you feel really lost right now. I've been getting a lot of messages and a lot of readings from people who have been telling me, feeling lost, feeling depressed. Okay. Well, it's been, when you're moving into a new cycle, many times we get emptied out. The things in our life that need to be removed get removed. Also, Neptune in Pisces is at 16 degrees right now. And if you understand the 16th degree, the definition of degrees, if you study that, it's a very fascinating study. I like to study the degrees. And it does talk about a time when we can feel very depressed, okay? Now, with Neptune and Pisces, the degrees are changing because it's a 14-year transit, about 2 degrees a year, something like that. So it's very slow moving. So we're just moved into 16 degrees. And really, that feeling of loneliness or wanting to just, be off by yourself and, how to connect with people in this day and age with the internet. We've really lost the ability in a lot of ways to connect with people on a physical level. emotional level. And so many people are just kind of feeling lost. I know I've gone through that this last year, just feeling like, any way the wind blows, where do I, where's my confidence? The answer, I believe, and within my studies for Neptune at the 16th degree in Pisces, is to surround yourself with friends or people that inspire you. To get to a place where you are reaching out, it's going to take some effort to a circle of people that support you. Hopefully every one of us has, even if it's a very small circle, okay? Even if you're going to group counseling or any type of group meetings where you're working, with a group. There's so many. There's peer groups, there's AA, there's NA, there's church, there's these groups, and it really suggests being around a small group. Even if it's a small Bible study or a small tribal, group. It's more about really being able to take the time to reach out, because in those relationships is where many of us are going to start finding those answers on how to get on track with this new path we're taking. Because Taurus rules the second house, it's about the things that we value. It's about the things that we value. Just like I came into my tack room, I never even thought about coming in here. But lately, I just kind of been coming in here and just smelling the leather and remembering all the, years of working with kids and horses, and reminding myself of those things that I truly value, that, I've set aside. And I'm feeling drawn back to them. Okay. So, it's very important that we take certain steps. Astrology, a lot of people get confused, and there's a lot of theories out there, that we're kind of destined, that the cycles are happening and we have no control over them. And interestingly enough, you will experience things. You'll see twins or time twins or people that have the same birthdays that, experience maybe getting married on the same day or having children on the same day. And they could be people that live across the country from each other, that don't even know each other. So there is something very special about the universe making suggestions in our lives. But at the end of the day, it's our response to the suggestions. It's our response to the energy. And that doesn't mean we always get it right. It's something that takes a long time to evolve. So when something's coming your way, and this is something I'm working on too, before we react, before we just assume, to be able to step back a little bit and say, what is the best way I can respond astrologically right now? Like for me, and I'm sharing some personal experiences today, I was born with the moon in Pisces at 16 degrees. Okay. I was also born with, the moon in the 12th house. So my 12th house is being lit up right now. It's been being lit up for many years. And I have the ascendant, my rising sign, in Pisces as well. Okay, my moon in the first house, on my ascendant, at 21 degrees. Okay, so I'm in this 5-degree orb right now. And I thought about it, and I thought, oh my gosh, here I am in the year of 2018. And it was 165 years ago. That long ago, 165 years ago, before this astrological configuration has happened. And it's conjunct, it's lining up with the moon. The most important part of my chart, I believe, is your moon sign, because it's your deep soul. And I've got Neptune like right hovering over me. And, it's a little unnerving, because Neptune is so nebulous. And some things that I've noticed for one, the last year coming up to this, because I was still in that 5-degree orb. Anytime you're in a 5-degree orb with a conjunction, you're going to start feeling this happening. So with Pisces, there's so many things that it represents because it's the 12th house. It can represent isolation. It's the private house. It's the sanctuary. It's the lighthouse in the ocean, that lighthouse up on a hill all by itself. It can represent mental hospitals. It can represent mental health. It can represent prisons. It can represent even things such as, Alzheimer's and different things like that where you're forgetting. When you see a lot of older people that lose their memories, there's probably a strong Neptunian transit happening. So it's been a little scary for me because I do that. I'm standing there and I won't even remember what I did yesterday. Or, my husband will say, hey, don't you remember he gave us a ride yesterday from here to there? And I'm like, I don't remember that. It was just yesterday. So it is a little bit, makes me nervous. I'm like, am I losing my memory? Or is it just that I'm having this experience right now? Which I believe is more true. Because at the same time, I will have flooding of flashbacks of my life this last year, of remembering things that happened to me as a young girl. It's almost like a life review. They say, the Bible says, when you get to heaven, you stand before God. It's like the book of life opens and you have this life review. And, they've used that with fear. Your whole life is going to be on a movie screen, and it's kind of like, oh, do we really want that? But I've really experienced that this last year of my own life review and being able to go back and make peace with a lot of things in my life. I felt a lot of things emotionally, and I've been feeling a lot of things emotionally like it's just happened. Dreaming a lot. My intuition is, almost too much for this earth. Sometimes when you're dealing with Pisces, and those of you out there who have strong Pisces in your chart, this stuff that I'm talking about, you're going to relate to. No matter what degree that you're at, just because Neptune's in Pisces. And that's been going on since 2012. In fact, I looked back at the day that I started my astrology channel here on YouTube, and November 22nd, 2012 is when I posted my first video, and Neptune had moved into Pisces at 0 degrees. 0 degrees. It's like anytime you have those 0 degrees, like we are right now with Uranus and Taurus, it's really powerful stuff. So here I am now, 6 years later, and it's at 16 degrees, and it's on my moon. It's right there. So I'm still observing my life every day. I have been more interested in understanding mental health, being more of an activist for mental health. I've dealt with some of my own mental health issues this last year of up and down depressions and different things, also connected to menopause. I know I'm sharing all of these things, but I want you guys to be able to go, I can relate to that. Because these are things that a lot of astrologers don't talk about. It's like, oh, we can talk about, how the astrology affects every single sign. But what I really want to talk about is, how it affects us all personally and as a collective in real life, everyday stuff. So, also for those of you born in the Pluto in Virgo generation, which is 1960 to 74. I'll have to look at the exact dates. And then also Uranus in Virgo. Okay, those of you born, that was 61 to 69. Okay, I was born in 68. So I have this conjunction, Pluto and Uranus in Virgo. Well, Neptune in Pisces is opposing this generation right now. Okay? Opposing. the perfectionism that we all have tried to live with. All right. Everything we've tried to do. So part of what's been really hard on me mentally is letting go of this perfectionism, these conditionings that I was born with. And being able to say, I'm okay. These conditionings were there for a time, but I can't operate under them anymore. And part of me feels really, really, really uncomfortable, especially since I am a Virgo. Virgos want to live in this little perfect world. And right now, with this Neptune and Pisces and the way it's affecting me, I'm like, it's like you're going to live this life of faith, this life of miracles, this life that you can't predict, this life that you can't control. And it's like, really? Like, wow. Now, as having a moon in Pisces, I do understand living that freedom, not wearing that watch. But because I was born on that opposition, the Virgo Pisces opposition, and again, I'm talking to you guys out there too, looking at your charts, it's very difficult to live in that opposition at times. And so all of this right now is about all of us learning together how to respond to the energy that is happening right now. And astrology allows us to kind of understand it, but really, has any of us ever been here before? No. Every day the universe changes and it evolves. Okay? We can look back with patterns to really help us navigate some of the things that we're working on now. For example, again, another personal example, but trying to get you guys to look at your own life, okay? 1988, 1989, Saturn was in Capricorn. So now we know that Saturn is in Capricorn now. It's a 30-year transit. It happens every 30 years. Well, back in 88, 89, I was, 20 years old. And I worked at a veterinary hospital for small pets. I also was a mobile dog groomer. I had a little mobile dog grooming business that I loved. And I've always been hands-on with animals. I left that business. I sold it and left that business in like 1999. Okay. Saturn was in Taurus. All right. So now as we speak, what's happening? Saturn is in Capricorn and Uranus is in Taurus. And guess what? The opportunity for me to have a small mobile dog grooming business again has now come back to me. Out of nowhere, after all these years that I went a different direction. Because I am really looking for something, as much as I love the internet, and I love astrology, and I love doing readings, I need something to connect me to the earth. Because this is all very mental and spiritual and clairvoyant energy that I use on the internet. And sometimes I get floating around, right, on the internet. But I need something to ground me, okay? And with Venus and Gemini, and it's like this Gemini energy that we have right now, it's like you can really do more than one thing. Why are you only focusing on one thing you can do, and if that doesn't happen, you can't do anything else? Why is that? So, I'm looking at being able to do both of those things. My son is getting older. I need to use my hands. I need to go to work. And so I'm definitely at a place where, not only that, I can really take my astrological research with animals to a whole new level, being back in that industry. And with Uranus and Taurus, I sold my business in 1999 when Saturn was in Taurus. And now Uranus is like a U-turn. Hey, we're going to bring this back in your life. And it can be on, you now get to create it how you want it as you're more mature now, okay? And it's like you know, that's what's so great about a Saturn return, because it's all about taking what you know, taking what you're doing, and taking it to a whole new level. So all of these miraculous things have been coming into my life, which is really exciting. And, you know, I struggled for a while thinking I didn't know what I was going to do, or, you know, what my future was going to look like. I had lost some confidence. Again, the energy has made us all feel a little unsure the last year, and lost. Also, just to end on this note, because there is so much, I have my friend that just came to visit me, so she's pulling up. But also, you know, Jupiter's in Scorpio. Okay, it's retrograde right now. And with Jupiter in Scorpio, it's really taking us again to another deep place of psychological nature. And it's opening up what is really the best for us. Okay, going back to what you value, going back to what's important to you. Stop people pleasing. Okay, Jupiter in Scorpio says you got to put yourself in a position of power. You've got to put yourself in that position, a powerful position for you and your family. Now we have the donkey going off. So this is so fun. This is what I do. So you guys, I hope this was just some food for thought. Come over here. Little Lena's going to say goodbye. Let's see if she can do it. I'm not going to be able to lift her up very much longer. You going to say bye-bye? You going to stop choo-choo? Hey, stop choo-choo. We're going to work on choo-choo. Yeah. We're going to be working on her chewing, but a little at a time. So, yeah, this is some cool stuff. So, I will be back out with some more videos to talk about what's happening. If you would like a reading right now, I do have a 30-minute audio reading based on your specific questions. I have a special. Go to cowgirlastrologer.com. I have a discount price for the spring. And these are powerful, powerful videos, audio videos. I send them to you privately. We can also do a 1-hour one-on-one. This is a huge time right now to get on track, to help you understand what's going on and bring all of these thoughts together, all of these ideas together. Help you really realize that a lot of things you may be feeling or dreaming about or what have you, you know, can really come true now. So let's learn together, look at together how we can respond to the suggestions and the opportunities that the universe is giving us. So I'd love to hear from you. Hope you guys will book a reading, and let's take a look at this stuff. All right, you guys, if you have any questions or comments below, I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day.